The former Inspector General of Police, Mr. Sunday Ihedero, has expressed strong reservations over the persistent deployment of the military in internal security operations, explaining that excessive visibility of military personnel is unhealthy for democracy. He advised the federal government to restrict the military to its statutory mandate of protecting the nation's territorial integrity. He further recommended that the military be deployed to secure the nation's porous borders in order to prevent transnational criminal elements from entering the country through land borders. While commending President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the recent changes in service chiefs, the appointment of a new Minister of Defense, and the nomination of ambassadors, Ihedero called for a total recalibration of the nation's security architecture. Let's deepen this discussion now as another former Inspector General of Police, Mike Okiro, joins us now from our Abuja studio. Good morning, Mr. Okiro, and thank you for joining us on the morning show. Mr. Okiro is Inspector General of Police, retired.
Thank you so much. Good morning, too.
Thank you. You're welcome. Well, very quickly, Mr. Okiro, IGP retired. Now, the president of Nigeria has taken some steps recently to strengthen the police force in Nigeria. First, he approved the recruitment of 20,000 additional police officers. Later, he added 30,000 additional police officers. Now, three, he directed through the Inspector General of Police that policemen should be withdrawn from VIP protection so that we will have enough policemen on the ground to do police work. 4, the National Economic Council said, well, they were going to provide 100 billion naira to upgrade training facilities, both for the police and other security agencies. So it looks like the police is getting a good deal. And both the MPF, Nigeria Police Force, and the Police Service Commission, they've set up a joint ad hoc committee to look at how they can work out this additional recruitments and all that. Are you very optimistic that both bodies will be able to work together and that the police will get the money? Because all of this should not be sound bites. Will the police get the cash backing to, restructure and transform and be more effective in ensuring security within the country?
Yeah, kudos to the president for trying to tackle this issue of security. The police, as you know, is the lead agency in internal security. So what are having inside Nigeria now cannot be effectively achieved if the police is not revamped, if the police is not structured. The issue of recruitment, which the president has done, is the right move in the right direction. Because you cannot have a situation like this without enough policemen to tackle the issue of insecurity. This has been a problem over the years. And I'm happy that the president is taking the bull by the horn. The police have been so neglected, no equipment, no manpower, no infrastructure, no welfare. That's what we're seeing now. If the police have been taken care of, what we're seeing now cannot really happen. The instruction to recruit more police officers is also very good because as Nigeria is now, we don't have equipment, we don't have technology. What I do is the rule of thumb, using manpower to certain things, which other countries have neglected. For example, some countries are using AI now. It's understandable because their population is down. But Nigeria population is growing every day. But the state of the police is dwindling. So to recruit more policemen is the answer. But not only that, of course. You have to add the equipment, you have to add the welfare, you have to have technology, to go abreast, be abreast of what is happening all over the world. When I was IG, I found that the government made another mistake. Between 1995 and 1999, there was no recruitment in the police force. So by 1999, when President Obasanjo came into power, he gave order that the police should be recruited. That was done. Halfway, they made a mistake. They retained 10,000 police officers, whom I recall when I came back. When I became IG, I found that a lot of police stations were closed down. Police posts were closed down because of lack of manpower. I had to bring them back. And after that, the recruitment again, when I was chairman of the Police Commission, I found out that for 5 years, the recruitment the police. We said that 59,630 police officers were either retired or died, or that was a flyover. So these people were not replaced, and there was no recruitment. I had to write the president. I said, I'm surprised, and even again surprised. You have young men and women, graduates, people with school start, no job, roam the streets, get involved in crime because they have nothing to do, yet police is not, they say to the police down. Before they go, and now approve 10,000 every year for us. But halfway, it's up again. So I think the government is doing a lot of things now. But that's the first step. Get people recruited to the police.
Okay, thank you so much. So that's the first step. Other steps taken, as we already established by the president, is also the upgrading of training institutions across the 36 states in Nigeria. I'd like to get your thoughts on that, especially what areas ought to be concentrated on now that this government is embarking on that. So we've looked at recruitment, then there's also training and retraining. And I'd like you to also touch on even more the welfare, because we can recruit, we can train, but if they are not well looked after, as you've often advocated for, then we might not still see that uplifting of the police force as we want to in Nigeria.
Yeah, training and retraining very, very, very germane, very important. In management, you employ people, you train them. And you train them because the society is not dormant. The society is dynamic. So it's police dynamic too. So the police must be trained and retrained to fall in line with modern methods of policing, fall in line with modern methods of crime, fall in line with everything that is new. Police should know about it. We have technology going on, cyber cafe, everything coming on. Police should know those things also. So we do not just recruit police and train them and leave them. The mobility. Unfortunately, that has not been done. Over the years, there has not been money for the training, because for you to send people, a civil servant, a worker, an employee, for the training purpose, you have to pay him allowance, you have to feed him, which police didn't have. So you have a lot of policemen, after that, the initial training, they'll be trained again. So it's very, very important that the government equally provides funds and facilities for the training. And also, it talks about welfare. Welfare is germane, very important for any staff to work. Let me give you an example. The government made some mistakes some time ago by selling off all the barracks belonging to the police. Selling off the IG's quarters, selling off the quarter belonging to police commissioners in some states. When I became IG, I had to fight for those things. I had to make sure, I had to get back to IG's quarters. IG's quarters was sold. So I made the president, I said, President, sir, for me, IG, I have no problem because I'm living in the IG's quarters in my Tama. If somebody appointed IG from Sokoto, maybe who was an AIG or something from Sokoto, he comes to Abuja. No accommodation. Where does he stay? I had to convince the president before that IG said that were taken back to the police. So it was a very big mistake. So that affects the welfare of the police. A lot of police officers, no accommodation, they were sleeping in abandoned vehicles. How do they expect from them? What do they expect from them? They cannot do much because already the morale is down. The welfare is down. So welfare is also very, very important. The president is doing the right thing. You recruit the people, you train and retrain them, give them the welfare, and they're doing their best. They're saying that if you employ somebody, you pay him well, he work well for you. You employ somebody, give him peanuts. It's only give you peanut services.
Okay.
So welfare is very important. It's good that the president is addressing this issue of welfare.
Okay. But, sir, with due respect, all you fought for then has happened again. Look at the police barrack in Ikoyi. It's not there again. A lot of the police officers there pushed out of that place. So all the things you fought for, a lot of them are homeless today. That's speaking to welfare. Secondly, how do we even change the condition in a country where the economic devaluation has made the naira worthless? How much you want to pay a police officer today? Even if you pay them 200,000 naira or 250,000 entry position, it can still take them home in this economy if they live in highbrow cities like Lagos and they have family members. So let's also juxtapose it with the state of the economy. And thirdly, the culture. Is it a country where we already have a culture of impunity and corruption? Is that what we want to change? Where for your pittance as salary, somebody can bribe you with millions over a case, and you get rich. How do we change all of that?
Well, if you come to that, a general issue, not police alone, you have to take a holistic view and holistic action on the corruption and other things in the country. The price of things are high. The price of things are high. So police is not the only people that go to market. Other people go to market too. So that is something that is for the general public, for the entire country to handle. But police is equally, because police also, as they go to market, the Nigerians to suffer the same thing. So the issue of welfare, salary for the police, is also salary for other people. But in some areas, I think around the 80s, the time police was given special salary, special program for the police. So that was followed. But unfortunately, because police had its own schedule of salary, when they did minimum wage, police will not include the minimum wage. So at a point, when the salary of civil servants were being increased, that of police remained dormant. So I remember also that when I was there, I found out that police officers were earning 5,000 naira a month, while other civil servants were earning higher, because the police salary structure was outside of the civil service. I had to approach the government too. I have to mention this once more. I had to approach the president. I said, sir, police officers are earning 5,000 naira a month. A corporal or a sergeant is from Sokoto, whose families are there. They're in Abuja, no house, no vehicle. They expect every day, they sleep in abandoned vehicles. And they go to work every day. They can't even go to Sokoto, because that 5,000 cannot take them to Sokoto to see their family. They can't even take money to their families to look after themselves. And then you give AK-47 to stand in front of Nikon or Transcorp Hotel to check robbers. He sees flash cars passing. What is pray for him? The president was disturbed. That's how we were able to keep police salary from that 5,000 to 41,000.
Sir, well,
but
just
things are changed now. We see the same thing.
Sir,
So salary is not only police everywhere. So police need to be given special salary.
okay, sir. Because we have limited time, there's a subject I would like you to comment upon, which is the withdrawal of policemen from VIP protection duties. Now, we now understand that the same Nigerian police is having to set up a special task force to enforce the directives of the Inspector General of Police. So, is the police, has it gone so low, so bad, that there will be a presidential directive followed up by the IGP, and then the Inspector General has to now set up a task force to enforce the law that law enforcement officers are supposed to obey. Your thoughts, very briefly.
That is natural. In a society, human beings tend to do things, especially when it pleases them, they do a different thing altogether. If the president are given an order, it is good for the IG to set up a task force to ensure that that directive given by the president is followed. He cannot know it in his office or in his house. Somebody has to come, that will be tasked for by somebody who come and say, sir, well, your orders have been complied with. So what
sorry,
is done
sorry
is the
to
correct
interrupt you, sir.
thing.
Are you saying, sorry to interrupt you, are you saying that it is natural for policemen to be disobedient? Is that what you are saying?
It's not natural, but I said earlier on that human beings are disobedient naturally. Naturally, human beings are disobedient. We are born into it. That's why we have police force. If human beings obey the law, you don't have to have a police force. So, because disobey, that's what they pause. So, if the president gives an instruction to IG comply. You got to send signal to people to comply. But then there will be somebody to find out to ensure that the instructions given by the IG have been complied with.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. That's an interesting take this morning. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Michael Okiro. But I think just some revelations here this morning around an expectation for police officers to be disobedient in some instances, being human in themselves. Thank you for your time.